Right now, someone is deciding whether or not to hire you. They might have been deciding even for the last weeks and months. You've never spoken to them, you don't even know they exist, and you won't hear a thing from them until the decision's already made. And in this video today, I'm going to show you exactly what they're looking at while they decide. Because most coaches, consultants, experts, and creators are failing this audit without ever knowing that it was happening. Now, I know how that all sounds. You think sales happen in rooms that you're in, of course, whether it's on Zoom, calls, pitches, proposals, discovery. And the whole idea that a real sale happens without you being involved sounds totally mad. But let me tell you a bit more about the moment I found out it's true and what led me to start doing things the way that I do them today. So someone had been reading my stuff. They've been following my posts for months, and I had no idea they existed. On my side, I had no idea this was going on. I didn't see any comments from this person. There wasn't anything that they'd liked on my posts. They were just another invisible reader checking out everything that I was posting and following along with what I was doing. And what they found first was what they worked through, and it was months of it. They were going back through my posts, my emails, all the stuff that I'd been putting out there. They'd learned a lot about me without me having any idea. They'd been to my website. And all of this stuff, they told me they really enjoyed what they'd been reading for such a long time before they ever made contact. Now, the thing that's really crazy about this is I live in Da Nang, which is in Vietnam, central Vietnam. And this person lives in Da Nang too. So they'd been seeing my stories about my life and living here. They knew they were in the same city as me, the same streets and cafes that we went to. We maybe even walked past each other. And I hadn't a clue that this guy had been reading my content. And what they were doing that whole time was deciding whether or not to tell me they wanted my help, to tell me they thought that what I was doing was great and they wanted to be a part of it. In his head, there was a lot of stuff about what I would cost, whether or not it would be a lot, whether or not it was something he could afford, all of that stuff. And none of this was visible to me. Now, eventually, they messaged me and we had a short conversation, and they decided, based on their budget at the time, to join my school community. But they were still deciding whether or not they wanted to work with me on a closer basis or join one of my other programs, and watching me inside the community to see if the person I put across was the person I actually was. Of course, they lived in Da Nang. There was plans for us to eventually meet in person. But gradually, they became a client of mine. They joined one of my programs. I started working with them properly. And then, of course, we met in person because, hey, when you live in Da Nang, it's pretty unusual. You get a chance to do your calls with people in person in a coffee shop. So it was really great. And when we had that first conversation about the sale, he was already decided. It was done before we started. And I was the last one to find out about my own client and the fact that he was going through this process. Now, that's what someone's deciding right now about you. It's happening to you, but you just don't know because you can't see it. So what are they actually looking at for all of these weeks and months? The thing is, the answers are everywhere now. As knowledge workers, what we provide, most of which can be got from ChatGPT, and most of it is identical. And that includes people's content that they post because they all use ChatGPT or Claude, and I do myself. I have a slightly different method, but I still use AI. And what that means is buyers have stopped deciding what to buy based on the information that you're posting and the knowledge that you put out and the education posts. They're actually deciding who they can trust. And those weeks, while they're following your content, your posts, your emails, your videos, those weeks are a trust audit. And you have no idea that you're sitting in it. And if you're thinking that nobody's deciding anything about you, they are, trust me. Maybe they looked, they saw nothing worth watching, and they decided in about 8 seconds. And the weeks that they spent deciding if they wanted that problem solved just went to somebody else that does a similar things to you. Now, the answers are everywhere and mostly identical, right? What to trust, who to buy, who can I believe, who's just saying what they think will work to get them clients, who's really honest, who's got an actual opinion. The weeks, as I mentioned, that's where the trust audit goes on. And the really important thing about all of this is most people are just posting when they have time. They're messaging when their pipeline feels quiet. They're hoping that the right person is scrolling at the exact moment something goes live. And one post is asked to do everything at once. It needs to get attention, prove expertise, build trust, close the buyer, and a few paragraphs sandwiched between someone's promotion announcement and a bloke in an airport lounge sharing, you know, his where he's going that day and making that look like he's an expert. None of that compounds. And you can actually do a lot of this, and I know because I've done it. You can post on 10 different platforms, but if there's no cohesive strategy, nothing compounds and everything evaporates in that day where they find you. Every month starts from zero, and really, that's why I started doing what I do today, because I was tired of doing the DMs all day, getting people onto sales calls and all of that stuff. And that's why I gave up sales calls, because it was killing me. It was boring the hell out of me, and it wasn't compounding. So that shift in me happened for a simple reason, right? I realized that my knowledge and your knowledge is free now. AI answers faster than any expert. It never sleeps, and it charges nothing, or $25 a month. So building a business on what you know is competing with a free or next to free tool. Nobody's going to buy what you know anymore, but they will buy you. So that decision, the one that's being made about you right now, runs on 3 words: known, trusted, and bought. And every part of what happened with that client that I got in Da Nang maps onto them. For known, it's that your thinking becomes visible. Everywhere you exist online, with enough personality that strangers remember, and remember you and share you, right? It's not tips, it's you. And that's how the Da Nang client found me in the first place. So moving on to trusted, the attention moves somewhere that you own. It usually is an email list. People watch you think properly day after day. There's no algorithm deciding whether they're allowed to. It's in their inbox. They can either read it or they can unsubscribe, and that's fine. And this is where the body of work compounds. Something you made months ago keeps finding people. Something that they read, they thought, you know what, that's stuck in my head now. And maybe they even started watching your YouTube videos, and it keeps working on the people that found it, and they start to believe in you. They start to feel like they know you. Now, my Da Nang client was at that stage for months, and I didn't have to do anything on that day because the work that I'd already made was doing it for me. So when someone's ready, and this is the bought bit, there's a clear next step waiting. So you have to have a clear next step for what they're going to do. There can't be any dead ends. It can't be for you to chase and to pitch. They arrive already sold. So you need to have that down in your system with, where do I want them to go once they've taken the first micro step of joining my newsletter, once they've subscribed to your YouTube channel? Where are they going to start buying things and then getting some value from them so the trust compounds? Where can they start getting an even bigger thing so that it works that way? If you don't have that down, you can make as much content as you want. And all of this isn't theory, by the way. It's how my own business runs. Every single bit of this is what I do every day. So here's what the end of those weeks of someone following you look like. A message lands in your inbox from someone who's already sold, and they're like, I love what you do. I want to work with you. You don't have to chase. You don't have to pitch. They made that decision quietly without you knowing. Exactly like the person did in Da Nang that now works with me. Because what you need to remember is someone is deciding about you right now, whether you like it or not. The only question is what they're finding while they're doing it. The deciding has to happen somewhere. And for me, it happens on my email list or my videos. And that's where people watch me think every single day. So if you want to see this machine run on you from the inside, go and join it. And I apologize in advance for some of the stuff that I say in there.